listening to the Holy Bible 1-Year Challenge with Master Storyteller Michael Wood, featuring the easy-to-read version and used by permission from Bible League International. Enjoy the show!
Hello everyone, welcome to day 47. We're continuing in the book of Exodus. What if God were to come down on earth? What would that be like? You might think that if the area is rumbling with thunder and lightning wherever God's standing, you would probably have some police barricades or even the National Guard preventing anyone from getting close. Well, God kind of has that going on, but this time he's using geography. He has this mountain, and there's a line in the sand, and if you cross it and gaze upon the Lord, he will be punished. But Moses gets to spend some quality time with the Lord, and from that we get the 10 Commandments. How many of them do you know off the top of your head? And we're also continuing in the book of Mark. And Jesus is becoming quite popular. Even when he tries to be alone to pray, or he goes to live in abandoned places, the people find him, and he's out there healing everybody, teaching the people. But the Pharisees have an eye on Jesus, and it's not healing people that bothers them. It's when he forgives someone of their sins. And then when he has dinner with a bunch of sinners, that bothers them too. And if you think about it, a lot of times, either at school or in the workplace, we focus a lot on the high achievers. But in this case, Jesus is teaching to the low, the people who are failing, the low performers. And Jesus basically says that it is those people that he's here for. He's not here for the A students. They're already doing everything right. It's the sick and sinners that calls Jesus to purpose. Stay with us to hear all the details. If you enjoy the show, visit me at patreon.com/storymaster. You'll find the link in the description box below. By contributing as little as $1 per month, you will enable me to continue this ministry, and you'll get cool rewards too. Together, we're going to get through the Bible in 1 year. Let's get started. Exodus 19, God's agreement with Israel. On the first day of the 3rd month of their journey from Egypt, the Israelites reached the desert of Sinai. They had traveled there from Rephidim. They camped in the desert near Mount Sinai. Then Moses climbed up the mountain to meet with God. The Lord spoke to him on the mountain and said,
"Tell this to the Israelites, the descendants of Jacob. You people saw what I did to the people of Egypt. You saw that I carried you out of Egypt like an eagle and brought you here to me. So now listen to what I tell you and obey me faithfully. If you do this and keep the agreement I am making with you, you will be my chosen people, people who belong only to me. The whole world belongs to me. But you will be my special nation, a kingdom of priests. Moses, you must tell the Israelites what I have said."
So Moses climbed down the mountain and called the leaders of the people together. Moses told the leaders everything the Lord had commanded him to tell them. All the people spoke at the same time and said,
"We will obey everything the Lord says."
Then Moses went back up the mountain and told the Lord that the people would obey him. Then the Lord said to Moses,
"I will come to you in the thick cloud. I will speak to you. All the people will hear me talking to you. I will do this so that they will always believe what you tell them."
Then Moses told God everything the people had said. And the Lord said to Moses,
"Today and tomorrow, you must prepare the people for a special meeting. They must wash their clothes and be ready for me on the 3rd day. On the 3rd day, the Lord will come down to Mount Sinai, and all the people will see me. But you must tell the people to stay away from the mountain until they hear the ram's horn sound a long blast. Only then can they go up the mountain. Until then, mark a line around the mountain and don't let anyone cross it. Any person or animal that crosses the line and touches the mountain must be killed with stones or shot with arrows. and no one may touch the person or animal that crosses the line.
So Moses climbed down the mountain and went to the people. He got them ready for the special meeting, and they washed their clothes. Then Moses said to the people, "Be ready for the meeting with God in 3 days. Do not have sexual relations during that time." On the morning of the third day, a thick cloud came down onto the mountain. There was thunder and lightning, and a very loud blast from a horn. All the people in the camp were frightened. Then Moses led the people out of the camp to a place near the mountain to meet God. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke. Smoke rose off the mountain like smoke from a furnace. This happened because the Lord came down to the mountain in fire. Also, the whole mountain began to shake. The noise from the horn became louder and louder. Every time Moses spoke to God, God answered him with a voice like thunder. So the Lord came down to Mount Sinai. He came from heaven to the top of the mountain. Then he called Moses to come up to the top of the mountain with him. So Moses went up the mountain. The Lord said to Moses,
Go down and warn the people not to come near me and look at me. If they do, many will die. Also, tell the priests who come near the Lord that they must prepare themselves for this special meeting. If they don't, I, the Lord, will punish them.
Moses said to the Lord, "But the people cannot come up the mountain. You yourself told us to make a line and not allow the people to cross the line to holy ground." The Lord said to him,
Go down to the people, get Aaron, and bring him back with you. But don't let the priests or the people come near me. I will punish them if they come too close.
So Moses went down to the people and told them these things. Exodus chapter 20, the 10 Commandments. This is what God told his people.
I am the Lord your God. I am the one who freed you from the land of Egypt, where you were slaves. You must not worship any other gods except me. You must not make any idols. Don't make any idols or statues that look like anything up in the sky, on the earth, or in the water below the earth. Don't worship or serve idols of any kind, because I am the Lord your God. And I do not allow my people to worship other gods. I will punish the sin of those who reject me in this way. And I will punish their children, their grandchildren, and even their great-grandchildren. But I will be very kind to people who love me and obey my commands. I will be kind to their families for thousands of generations. You must not use the name of the Lord your God to make empty promises. If you do, the Lord will not let you go unpunished. You must remember to keep the Sabbath a special day. You may work 6 days a week to do your job, but the seventh day is a day of rest in honor of the Lord your God. So on that day, no one should work, not you, your sons and daughters, or your men and women slaves. Even your animals and the immigrants living in your cities must not work. That is because the Lord worked 6 days and made the sky, the earth, the sea, and everything in them. And on the seventh day, he rested. In this way, the Lord blessed the Sabbath, the day of rest. He made that a very special day. You must respect your father and your mother. Do this so that you will live a long time in the land that the Lord your God gives you. You must not murder anyone. You must not commit adultery. You must not steal. You must not lie as a witness against someone. You must not want to take your neighbor's house. You must not want his wife. And you must not want his men and women servants, or his cattle, or his donkeys. You must not want to take anything that belongs to another person.
During all this time, the people in the valley heard the thundering and saw the lightning on the mountain. They saw smoke rising from the mountain and heard the sound of the horn. They were afraid and shook with fear. They stood away from the mountain and watched. Then the people said to Moses,
If you want to speak to us, we will listen. But please don't let God speak to us. If this happens, we will die.
Then Moses said to them, There is no need for that kind of fear. God has only come to test you. He wants you to have the kind of fear for him that keeps you from sinning. The people stood far away from the mountain, while Moses went to the dark cloud where God was. Then the Lord told Moses to say this to the Israelites.
You people have seen that I talked with you from heaven. So you must not make idols using gold or silver to compete with me. You must not make these false gods. Make a special altar for me. You should use dirt to make this altar. Offer sheep and cattle as burnt offerings and fellowship offerings on this altar. Do this in every place I choose to be honored. Then I will come and bless you. But if you use stones to make an altar, don't use stones that were cut with an iron tool. If you do that, it will make the altar unacceptable. You must not make steps leading up to the altar. If there are steps, when people look up to the altar, they will be able to see under your clothes.
Mark chapter 1, verses 29 to 45. Jesus left the synagogue with James and John. They went at once to the home of Simon and Andrew. As soon as they arrived, Jesus was told that Simon's mother-in-law was very sick. She was in bed with a fever, so he went in to see her. He held her hand and helped her stand up. The fever left her, and she began serving them. And that evening after sunset, the people brought to Jesus all those who were sick. They also brought those who had demons inside them. Everyone in the town gathered at the door of that house. Jesus healed many of those who had different kinds of sicknesses. He also forced many demons out of people, but he would not allow the demons to speak because they knew who he was. The next morning, Jesus woke up very early. He left the house while it was still dark and went to a place where he could be alone and pray. Later, Simon and his friends went out and searched everywhere for Jesus. When they found him, they said,
Everyone is looking for you.
Jesus answered, We should go to another place. We can go to other towns around here, and I can tell God's message to those people too. That is why I came. So Jesus traveled everywhere in Galilee. He spoke in the synagogues, and he forced demons out of people. A man who had a dreaded skin disease came to Jesus. The man knelt down before him and begged,
You have the power to heal me if you want.
At first, Jesus felt angry. Then he put his hand on the man and said, I want to heal you. Be healed! Immediately, the disease disappeared, and the man was healed. Jesus told the man to go, but he gave him a strong warning. Don't tell anyone about what happened, but go and let the priest look at you and offer the gift to God for your healing that Moses commanded. This will tell everyone that you have been healed. The man left there and told everyone he saw that Jesus had healed him. So the news about Jesus spread, and that is why he could not enter a town if people saw him. He stayed in places where no one lived. But people came from all the towns to the places where he was. Mark chapter 2, verses 1 through 17. A few days later, Jesus came back to Capernaum. The news spread that he was back home. A large crowd gathered to hear him speak. The house was so full that there was no place to stand, not even outside the door. While Jesus was teaching, some people brought a paralyzed man to him. He was being carried by 4 of them, but they could not get the man inside to Jesus because of all the people. So they went to the roof above Jesus and made a hole in it. Then they lowered the man down on his mat. When Jesus saw how much faith they had, he said to the paralyzed man, "My son, your sins are forgiven." Some of the teachers of the law were sitting there. They thought to themselves,
Why does this man say things like that? What an insult to God! Only God can forgive sins.
Jesus immediately knew what they were thinking. So he said to them, "Why do you have these questions in your minds? Maybe you were thinking it was easy for me to say to this paralyzed man, 'Your sins are forgiven,' because no one could see whether it happened or not. But what if I say to him, 'Stand up, pick up your mat, and walk'? Then if it happens, you will know that I, as the Son of Man, have power on earth to forgive sins." So Jesus said to the paralyzed man, "I tell you, stand up, pick up your mat, and go home." The paralyzed man stood up. He picked up his mat and went straight out the door with everyone watching. They were amazed and praised God. They said, "We have never seen anything like this." Jesus went out by the lake again. A large crowd gathered around him, so he began teaching them. As he walked along, he saw a man named Levi, son of Alphaeus, sitting at the place for collecting taxes. Jesus said to him, "Follow me." Levi stood up and followed him. Later, Jesus was having a meal at Levi's house. Many tax collectors and others with bad reputations had also become followers of Jesus. So many of these people were there, eating with Jesus and his close followers. When some teachers of the law who were Pharisees saw Jesus eating with such bad people, they asked his followers,
Why does he eat with tax collectors and other sinners?
When Jesus heard this, he said to them, "The sick people are the ones who need a doctor, not those who are healthy. I came to ask sinners to join me, not those who do everything right." Psalm chapter 22, verses 12 to 21. My enemies surround me like angry bulls, like the powerful bulls of Bashan. They are all around me. Their mouths are open wide, like a lion roaring and tearing at its prey. My strength is gone, like water poured out on the ground. My bones have separated. My courage is gone. My mouth is as dry as a piece of pottery. My tongue is sticking to the roof of my mouth. You have left me dying in the dust. Evil people are all around me. They are closing in on me like a pack of dogs. My hands and feet are shriveled up. I could see each one of my bones. My enemies are looking at me. They just keep staring. They divide my clothes among themselves, and they throw lots for what I am wearing. Lord, don't leave me. You are my strength. Hurry and help me. Save me from the sword. Save my precious life from these dogs. Rescue me from the lion's mouth. Protect me from the horns of the bulls. Thank you, everyone. That was day 47. Join us for day 48. In the book of Exodus, you've heard the 10 commandments, but have you heard the 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 commandments? Well, if not, you're about to hear them in the next episode. And in the book of Mark, the heat is on Jesus as the Pharisees start to ask him religious questions. And get this, Jesus actually starts performing miracles on the Sabbath day. And the Pharisees got a big problem with that because they consider healing people to be work. What do you think? We hope you enjoyed today's verses. Be sure to leave us a positive review and to share this podcast with your friends and family. Please join us for the next episode as we experience the Bible in 1 year.
Did you know we offer online courses in creative writing, literature, and web design? Visit us at storymaster.online to learn more.